Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing the best of 2024 video makeup edition. I really wanted to get this up before Black Friday sales start because we've already seen them start to roll in. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to let you guys know about what I thought was the best this year so you can actually shop discounts, because I don't really feel like there's a lot of discounts in December. So I wanted to kind of do it that way. Everything that I chat about today will be linked down below. If I help you make a purchasing decision or inspire you to pick something up that I chatted about, would love if you used one of my links. If you're not planning on shopping, that's okay. No pressure. Just appreciate that you're here enjoying the content. If you're new here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button before you leave and hit a thumbs up. It really does help my channel out. And yeah, let's go ahead and get on into the video. Something else I want to mention, I will link below to my best of 2023 and 2022 if you just want to go down memory lane, see what I've loved in the past. Those will be linked as well. I also just wanted to preface that I'm going to go through this like I would do my makeup. So starting with priming stuff all the way up until the end, just to make sure for me I'm not missing anything. Also, there are multiples in almost every category, so this is going to be a longer video. I encourage you to play it while you're getting ready. Grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever you may need to do, because I'm going to be chatting about a lot of products. I do want to try and keep this concise. However, I want to be thorough, because while I'm saying I love a product for this reason and that's why it's the best, that may also help you decide, hey, that product is not going to be for me. So I still want to be detailed while being, concise with my explanations. That being said, I am done rambling and let's go ahead and jump into the products that I thought were the best in 2024. You might even already have some of these because not all of them are brand new to this year. So to start, I'm going to start with an SPF because that is a routine part of my makeup in the summer. I still use it in the winter sometimes, but not as much as in the summer. And the best one I tried this year was from IT Cosmetics. It is the Hello Sunshine SPF. This has SPF of 50. And if you're wondering why mine is still in the box, it's because I finished my other one and I repurchased this one. But I have other sunscreens open, so I'm not opening it until, I'm done with this one. But anyways, this one is really lightweight on the skin, sinks in seamlessly. It does not leave any kind of white cast whatsoever. You also get incredible SPF protection. It's 50. I have yet to burn while wearing this, which is just amazing. It also lays beautifully under makeup. It gives the skin the most gorgeous glow without making you look oily or greasy. I do have that problem sometimes with SPFs under makeup. They just get all oily. This does not do that. This is hands down, in my opinion, the best SPF for under makeup. Moving on, primer. I have two primers. The first one is from L'Oreal. It is the True Match Lumi Glotion. I have the shade Light. I love this, especially during the summer, because it was just like very glowy, obviously, but it's very lightweight. It has a subtle tint to it. I know some of my friends in the community actually just use this as a lightweight like foundation. I, as you know, like full coverage, so I won't be doing that, but I loved this as a primer. You can see that beautiful glow and tint that you get there. This also wore really well under my makeup, no peeling, anything like that. And it just gave me a radiance that, again, didn't get greasy or oily. Not to mention, it is from the drugstore. I think it is a pricier drugstore item though, but what drugstore item these days is not pricey? The insanity of it all. But I did really love this one this year, and it's one I would obviously highly recommend. I am going to try and swatch a lot of stuff in this video as well, you guys, so that if you're curious about shades, you can see where I'm at and what the shades look like. So also just wanted to throw that out there. The next product is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. This is easily my favorite blurring primer. If you're looking for something to blur those pores, this is the one. I use it usually just right in here, T-zone, and on my chin. It has this really pretty purple. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it's a really pretty purple tint. And man, I love it. Blurs out easily on the skin, and it is lightweight. I would say I let it sit for about 30 seconds before I go in with any of my other makeup. I know other blurring primers that I personally used that are like very like thicker, like this one. Like sometimes you have to let those set longer, but it's actually like a very cooling texture. I love it. If you tried the Blur Jam from Glowish, it is very similar to that, but I like this one better. So I think this is a great option if you're looking for a blurring primer. Next up, I know you guys didn't think that I would be skipping this one. It is the Huda Beauty FauxFilter Corrector. I still use this on a daily basis. This is like the best corrector I've ever tried. It thins out really nicely, wears beautifully under concealer, and it corrects. I have the shade Peach, and I think it's perfect. Like it looks intense and scary, but like it blurs out beautifully, and it does not alter like the shade of my concealer or anything like that. It dries down matte, but doesn't dry my skin out. This is the same one I've recommended for 2 years in a row, and I'll continue to do so. You get so much product in here. This will easily last you the whole year. All right, next up, foundation. I have 3. The first one I don't have on hand because I finished it, so I'm going to just pop a photo, but it was the KVD Balm. This foundation is incredible, incredible, incredible. And it often goes half off. I'm actually going to be like stalking their site for deals during Black Friday to pick up another one, because I did feel like I went through it a little bit fast, but then I was like, I also used it pretty much solely for like 2 or 3 months because I was that obsessed with it. I know there's been like a lot of mixed reviews, but with this product, I will say less is more. And I feel like it applies best with a sponge, like a wet beauty sponge. And then you just get the most beautiful blurred coverage. It is so high coverage without looking cakey or disgusting. It is simply, I cannot wait to have my grubby little hands back on it, because my base looks so freaking good when I wear that product, and I always feel my best, the most high glam. I just feel so good in it. So that is one that I would highly recommend. I think it is a beautiful, beautiful formula. The next product is from Clinique, and it's their Even Better Makeup SPF Foundation. I have the shade, what is this shade? CN18, and this is a great shade for me when I'm like going from like spring to summer, summer to fall, that transition shade. And it has like a little drop applicator. I don't know. I know some people have strong opinions on applicators, so I just kind of want to show you guys what that one looked like. But I have loved this and raved about it since I got it. Like, nobody talks about it. This is solid medium to full coverage, and it gives like the most beautiful satin finish to the skin, which I really love. And it is so long lasting. This is one that even without powder is very long lasting on my skin. It gives me a healthy glow, but I don't get oily. It does a really good job of controlling those oils. So very long wearing, medium to full coverage. And this was actually like the diamond gift from Ulta this year in 2024. So They might do more promotions with it. I know they partner a lot with Clinique, but I love this one. Very underrated in my opinion. The reason I picked it was because this has incredible reviews on Sephora, or not Sephora, on Ulta. So many people are raving about this, and I was like, why have I never heard about it? And now I get the hype. It is absolutely incredible. The packaging, this is a great one to travel with. I will say that. It is one of those like mid-tier brands, so I'm not expecting like a frosted glass bottle or anything like that, but definitely love this one. Okay, now the one that I'm wearing today is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation. You guys, this is like the KVD Good Apple Balm Foundation, but in a liquid form. You get so much coverage. Like, it is full coverage, but it feels so light. It feels like I'm literally not wearing anything. It feels like a skin tint. My skin can breathe, it can move. It's not feeling cakey or suffocated. God, this shocked me. I was really worried because I've tried her liquid foundations before and they were so thick and cakey I could not even use them. This is not like that. This is a thinner consistency, full coverage. You don't need a lot. A little goes a long way. And God, it just gives the most beautiful coverage, the most beautiful finish. It is long lasting, and it's another packaging that is great to travel with. The application is one of these little squirt bottles again, which I don't really know when I transitioned to that. I have other ones with like pumps, but these kind of applicators seem to be coming back in a bit. And I have the shade 200B, and that is a good shade for me right now. And you'll be able to see the difference between this and the Clinique one. So this is the 200B, and then this is the Clinique CN18. And this is what's good for me right now. I do have 3 other shades of the Easy Blur, and I will insert those if you're, trying to make a shade decision. 200B is what suits me right now. 210B is what suits me when I have more of a tan, and then the 220N is when I am like at my tannest that I rarely reach anymore these days. So hopefully that helps you guys. The B stands for a beige undertone, and if you typically pick up neutral undertones, I would get the beige undertone because I'm also typically a neutral undertone girl, but Huda's line runs yellow, so I often find that the neutral undertone in her line is too yellowy for me, whereas the beige is perfect. So I just wanted to mention that in case you were on the fence about shades, because I know her brand is one of those that are tough for shade matching. But yes, absolutely love this, worth every drop of hype that it's gotten so far. Next up, concealer. I only have one, and I don't have it. I finished it like a month and a half ago, and I think I'm gonna repurchase it because I'm really I miss it. Like, my under eyes haven't looked as good since, and I'm over it. It is the Natasha Denona Hy-Glam Concealer. I wore the shade 2N almost year round. It got a little light for me during the summer, but most of the rest of the year, 2N was a perfect shade for me. And I feel like the undertone of this line was done so well. It is one of the easiest shade matches I've ever had, and it was gorgeous. I like my under eyes to be more skin tone. These are a little bright right now because I'm struggling with concealer. But the Hy-Glam also deserves every amount of hype that it's got. It is so full coverage, but it is it's not a thin consistency when you apply it, but when you blend it out with your sponge, it looks like it blends right in with your skin. Very thin, very skin-like, has a little bit of a glow, but no, I'm not glowy particles or anything like that. But it looks hydrated and juicy under the eye. And that one for me was a really slow burn. At the beginning, I was like, I don't really know about this, But at that time, I was also using the Hourglass Vanish Concealer, which in my mind is similar to the Hy-Glam, but the Hourglass one is thicker. So if you love the coverage of the Hourglass concealer, I would recommend trying out the Hy-Glam. I think you might like it a lot more. That's what happened to me. But it was a little bit of a slow burn. But man, once I got in with it, I was like, no other concealer is touching this right now. And maybe that'll come one day. I've tried a lot of makeup products and I love that concealer. If you like a full coverage concealer, that is the one. Very minimal creasing, just what you would expect with like natural creases under your eyes. But if you powder it down, like very, very minimal creasing, it is top notch. Okay, next up, we're gonna be wanting to set our eyes, right? So the powder I'm gonna recommend, which is probably no surprise to anyone, is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder. I currently have the shade Cherry Blossom, but the shade, what were the other two shades I had? Pound Cake and Sugar Cookie. Those were other shades that I've used and finished and have replacements of. I love this one for the under eyes and like the center of my face where I'm wanting to brighten. And then I've been using the shade Pound Cake to lightly set the rest of my face. This does have a bit of a tint, so I would just be mindful of that while purchasing. The shaded ones have a bit of a tint. But anyways, this is like my holy grail powder. This just locks everything in and makes it look so smooth and airbrushed, but it is not drying or uncomfortable on the skin. And I just love the longevity that this gives my makeup. And I also love the way that it touches up over itself. Like if I put this on in the morning and then I get home 10 hours later and we're gonna go do something for, the other night we went to a concert, right? So I got home at like 3:30 and then I touched up my makeup and we didn't get home till almost midnight and my makeup looked incredible because when I got home, I just touched up with the Huda powder and it locked everything back in and it looked incredible. My makeup didn't look gross or expired. Like, you know, I had been wearing it for as long as I had been, you know? So this is a great product to have in your toolkit for long-lasting makeup. If you're looking for an alternative to that, I will say the Lottie London Ready to Go Under Eye Setting Powder has been really nice. I have the shade Brightening Pink. The only thing I will say about this is I only love it on the under eyes. This does do a great job of smoothing out all of those lines and creases and brightening. It does that. It's very finely milled. I love the texture. But this does not work well all over the face like the Huda one does. When I use this all over the face, I find that my oils are coming through much quickly. My makeup is breaking up a lot quicker than it does with the Huda powder. So I would keep that in mind. If you're looking for something that's going to set the under eye and the whole face, go with the Huda powder. If you're looking for something just for the under eyes, then I think the Lottie London one would be a great, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it'd be another great option. This one does get a little bit messier though with, I'm not going to turn it up with how the product comes out, but like the product comes out. You don't have to like work for it. I hate when there's sifters and these powder products and I'm just like, you can't get nothing out. This isn't like that. So yeah, love this one as well. Okay, now we're going to talk about bronzer and I have two. And they're actually ones that I tried or picked up more recently, which is like shocking, but also not really, because if you follow my project panning videos, I've been using a lot of the same bronzer all year. So it's been really nice to branch out and use some of my other stuff that I have accumulated throughout the year. The first bronzer I want to talk about is from Refi, and this is in the shade Dune. The packaging, very nice, sleek, and this is what the shade looks like in the pan. And you might be thinking, oh, that looks a little like cool toned, but it's very neutral. Like the shade of this is absolute perfection for my skin tone. On the swatches online, I was actually so worried that it was going to be too deep but when it got here, I was like, oh my Lord. It is literally stunning. The consistency is very thin, which also on swatch made me worried, but I'm wearing it today and I think that it looks great. It blends out effortlessly to create that seamless blend between your blush and your bronzer. It's also, like I said, just very lightweight on the skin, easy to work with, and it's long lasting. So it's a great formula that you might think, okay, well, this kind of sounds like it can compete with other formulas, and I'm sure that it can. But what sells it for me is the tone. The tone is perfect. It doesn't lean too cool or too orange. It is a neutral bronzer with just like a hint or a touch of that warmth that I'm looking for. So for this, since I got it, I've been having trouble like putting it down. Like this is the one that I want to use. It is incredible, you guys. And I didn't even know Refi had other products other than brow products. My friend texted me that they were having like this crazy sale. So I was like, okay, I want to try some stuff. And I'm blown away by this bronzer. It is incredible. The other bronzer, which might be like a little bit shocking to you, because it is like a, classified as a powder bronzer. Gasp, I know. But it is the RMS Beauty. These are their ReDimension Hydra bronzers. So they're more like hydrating and glowy on the skin than a normal powder bronzer would be. And I think that that is why I have loved it so much. I have the shade Malibu Muse, and that is what it looks like in the pan. You can tell how much I've used this bronzer. I love it. I had to literally put it away because I was obsessed with it. I'm going to swatch it next to the Dune. So this is the RMS Beauty one, and then this is Dune from Refi. Look how gorgeous that sheen is. And it blends out so freaking nicely, which I know some people have said they've struggled with like it being like hard pressed and getting the product up. The brush that I used is the Sigma F43. It's a soft angled cheek brush, and I just wanted to show it in case you already have this product and you're having that same struggle with the bronzer. This has worked incredible for me. I have not had any issues applying this bronzer with this product. I mean, I'm not someone that just taps though, like I go in, but I have loved this. I almost said I'm wearing it today, but I'm not. It was a really hard toss up for me to pick which bronzer to wear today. That's how much I love this one. It gives a nice healthy glow, blendable, easy to work with, and it's something that as a cream lover, I'm enjoying, which is crazy. That should just tell you how like emollient the formula is and easy to work with that it is, especially because my skin, I used to be like combo oily, and over the past like 4 years, I've become combo dry. And so that has caused a lot of change in my makeup routine and in my preferences. Cream products tend to look better on dry skin, but this, amazing. Highly recommend it. Okay, next up we have blush, and I have less than you would think. I have like a small handful, and one of them actually is just 2 shades, and I wanted to show you both in case you wanted to see. But the first one is the It Cosmetics Sun Blush in the shade Sun Warmth, and these I feel like flew super far under the radar. Not only is the tone of this stunning, but you get so much product. It is wild how much product you get. But this formula is very creamy. It's like almost like moussey. If you've tried the Phytosurgence blushes, then this is similar in texture, and this is similar in tone to Smolder, which is why I actually picked it up. But it is beautiful. I'm trying to turn so we can get the lighting on this stuff better. But yes, this tone is absolutely stunning. I love this formula because it blends out really easily, wears really long on the skin, and it gives like a nice satin finish. It's not super glowy, not super matte, and it's really easy to work with. It is pigmented, so like I just literally tap once, go in and work it in, and then I can layer over if I need to. It's buildable. So I would just be mindful of that it is like a more pigmented formula, but it's not overly pigmented like the Rare Beauty blushes. Next up is one from e.l.f. This is their, I think it was just called their Camo, yeah, their Camo Liquid Blush. And I have the shade Dusty Rose. I actually purchased this a while ago, but I'm only just getting to try it out within like the last month and a half. And I've been so thoroughly impressed. I'm actually surprised these aren't still more hyped up. So there's the swatch. Very pretty rose colored light tone. I'm wearing that one today, actually. That's what's on my face. And I really like this because it's not overly pigmented. Again, I just go in with the applicator and go 1, 2 dots, and that's usually fine. Or if you're like worried and you want like a less blushy look, just go in with 1 dot. It blends out well enough. Sorry, my dogs are like going crazy, so I don't really remember where I was leaving off. But it blends out really easily and it doesn't dry down, so you do have time to work with it and get it blown out as you would like. So I really love this, and I think it's a super, I don't even want to say an alternative for the Rare Beauty blushes because it's just better. Like, it's so much better. So highly recommend this blush, and it is such an affordable option. Another blush I want to recommend is from Huda Beauty. These are the blush filters. I feel like these kind of like flew under the radar somehow. But this is the shade Cotton Candy. And I do have, well, I have all of them except for the new one she just launched, the bronzer things. So this is a shade Cotton Candy, and I will insert swatches of all of the shades over here. I can wear all of them, all of the shades. They are that blendable and easy to work with, to where like if I just put a dot of the shade Black Cherry on my cheek, I can easily blend it out and work with it. Like, it's not even a problem. It is so insane to me how easily these blend out, even the deep shades. They are just so blendable, and they're long lasting. They dry down to like not a matte, but they don't like stay super glowy. Like, they dry down really nicely, which I really like. And honestly, they're just everything I wanted the Rare Beauty ones to be, in terms of like their how easy they are to work with. This is a formula that I go in directly on my face. I literally just dot, blend, and work. And I usually use like 3 dots of each. Like, that is how blendable the consistency of this formula is. So I think if you're someone who's like new to liquid blushes or wanting to try a liquid blush, I think that like this would be the route to go because they're just so easy to work with, in my opinion. Okay, next up, the last blush I want to talk about is the Kaja Beauty Dewy Bars. They launched these earlier this year, and I have 2 shades. This is what the packaging looks like. Super cute, like a literal bar of something. But I have the shade Grapefruit Gelato and Fig Smoothie. These are stunning. If you're someone who likes a juicy, glowy blush, these are gonna be for you. I love how juicy they make my skin look. Like, they are just stunning. So this is Grapefruit Gelato. This is Fig Smoothie. And these, like I said, very dewy, rich, juicy finish. But they're also easy to work with. I usually just go in with my brush on top of the product and then apply it to my face. These are pigmented, but again, blendable, easy to work with, and they are so long lasting. I actually think these are my longest lasting blushes on the face. You can also go in with just your finger and tap it on if you want more of a light wash, but these will last you all day plus more. It's actually crazy how well it looks freshly applied at the end of a 10 to 12 hour day. So for someone who's like, I need the longest lasting blush ever, these Kaja Dewy Bars are incredible and I highly recommend them. Okay, next up is highlighter. I have a handful of highlighters. I went a little cray-cray about highlighter this year. I got really back into it, so I have a handful to share with you. The first one is from Iconic London, and it is their Rollaway Ball, and this one is in the shade Champagne Chic, I think it's called. Yes, Champagne Chic. And at first I was like, a roller ball, but how I apply it is I literally just hang it upside down, take my highlighter brush and rub it on there, and then highlight with the brush. So easy, not messy. And this one, like, look at that. This is a highlighter that is like, it melts into your skin and almost like enhances your natural glow along with the product. And it is so, this is probably like one of my most impactful highlighters because it gives such like a bam, sheen, glowy, and like not like metallic, reflecty, or sparkly or anything like that. It's just like glow. So if you like a just straight glowy highlighter, this is so good, and it is so stinking nice. Something that I never would have thought to pick up, but my friend loved it, so I was like, I'm gonna give it a go, and I have equally loved it. Such an underrated product. The next two are the Dior Backstage face palettes. I have both the shade Universal, and then I also have the shade Glitz. That's what this one is Glitz. And I will insert swatches over here too so you guys can see. I held off on these for forever because I was like, they are, you know, expensive, yada, yada, yada. Like, no. But damn, I honestly wish I would have just picked them up because they easily became a favorite for me personally. These are a more sparkly highlight, especially when you initially apply them, but they melt into the skin really, really nice. And also you have so many shade options in both of the palettes that I mix them. Like I mix depending on what I'm wearing. Like I'll just mix these two back and forth or these two or whatever. And I also use them on the eye, on the brow bone. These are just really functional, easy to use, easy to work with, and they are so freaking pretty. So I know that they're like on the more expensive side, but if you've been eyeing them and you keep holding out, I would say snag them. I don't think you're gonna regret it. I was worried that they would not live up to the hype, especially because I put them off for like 2 years, but they actually exceeded my expectations, and they're something that I reach for almost daily. The next highlighter that I wanted to recommend are from Natasha Denona, and these are her Hy-Glam Skin Infused Glow Beautifiers. These like got a lot of hype when they initially launched, and then I feel like people kind of stopped talking about them, to be honest. And I'll open them up here. This one is the shade 2, which is the medium shade. And I liked this one because it had a little bit of that gold tint. Like, look at that. I'm gonna swatch it for you. That's shade 2. And when you get it blended out, it doesn't look super gold, which I think is very important. And then I also have the shade 1, which I wore today. I can't really see what you guys see, but hopefully you can see it catching. The shade 1, and it is definitely more icy in my opinion, which is also why I was like, I want the shade 2 as well. But the shade, gosh, I moved over so that like you guys could see the tree, but I didn't adjust my lighting, so I think it's like casting some shadows. But the shade 1 is right there. That whiter shade and then shade 2. Freaking stunning. I love them. And if you want to see like in the pan, I guess I can hold those up too. But you can definitely see there's a difference in the pan. But these are really nice. They honestly, like kind of like she said, they just melt into your skin and leave like a very dewy, glowy finish. They're not like sparkly or anything like that, which is like, you know, if you're into sparkly highlighters, that's fine. So am I. I love those too. But I really love just the, it's literally 40 degrees out and my neighbor is riding his sports bike. I don't understand. But see that, like that finish is gorgeous, like glassy skin. So these, love them, highly recommend. Okay, and then the last product is from Haus Labs, and this is their Peach Quartz Highlighter, and it is absolutely stunning. The packaging is stunning. The embossing is stunning. This one is more of a sparkly highlight, which I really love, but I just want to let you know in case you don't. And right there it is. So pretty. It has like a very, and like the peach undertone of it is like subtle, so it's not overpowering. But these ones are sparkly and intense and beautiful. I wish I was someone that was just like better with the camera and had a better setup so I could show you guys just how like truly stunning a lot of these products are, because my setup just does not do it justice. But yes, I absolutely love this one and would highly recommend. Okay guys, how we doing? Are you holding in there? We are getting there. I did move my light a little bit, so hopefully that will help with some of the lighting stuff, and hopefully it didn't like throw it off, but I felt like the lighting was not doing what I needed it to. So next up, I want to jump into face palettes. Ooh, I forgot a blush. Okay, hang on here. I moved stuff around because I was struggling to get everything I wanted to talk about to fit. So the last blush, whatever, it is a palette, but it is the Danessa Myricks Dewy Cheek and Lip Palette. This is the darker one. Do It Undercover. Here we go. And this is what it looks like, which it looks super intimidating. But because the formula is so light, emollient, and easy to work with, like I can easily use all of these shades. They look stunning. I personally just go in with a brush. I dip into them with a brush. You can go in and scoop them out. I know that's what my friend Steph does. She scoops them out. But these are the 4 shades swatched out. That's what they look like from pan to swatch. And what I typically do, like for this one here, I just mix a little bit of this and a little bit of this. But these give a very fresh, dewy look to the skin, and they're very light and blendable, and they stretch really nice over like skin tones, which I really, really love. Like they can be stretched out and blended enough to where like this deep shade would look beautiful on me, or it can be built up to look better on a darker skin. So I really love this and have been enjoying it. So I can't believe I almost forgot to mention it. Okay, now we're getting into face palettes for real. The first one is the Makeup Forever HD Skin Face Essentials palette. I have the shade Light Medium. This is what the packaging looks like. I will insert some swatches for you guys if you want to see those. I did do a reel about it over on Instagram, and I didn't do a reel, but I did swatches and like a full review. Mine looks beat up and used because it is. I love, okay, so these are like the 4 blush tones. Love that we get so much variety. I actively mix them pretty much every time I reach into here. I'm mixing the blushes. Love them. They are a thin consistency. They are very buildable. So they go on a bit sheer, but they're buildable, which honestly, I prefer that. The highlighters are the only thing in here that leaves something to be desired. They look really pretty in swatch. I just find like They're a bit lackluster on the cheeks. I feel like they bring more glow and more effect when I actually just mix them in with the blushes. I feel like they give more that way than when I'm just putting them on my cheek. On the other side, we have like the more tones that you can use to play with for foundation, concealer, bronzer, contour. I don't use this shade. It's too dark, too cool. Be a great contour shade. I typically use these 3 shades here for bronzer mixing, and then I use these 2 here for concealer. I love that you can mix match and customize it to your skin tone. The bronzer is also very long lasting, blends really well. The formulas are very long lasting, like, and durable, which I really like. I use these 2 here, like I said, on my under eyes concealer. And honestly, I was so impressed at how it wore because, I mean, it feels like a thick texture in the pan, but once you get it out, it thins out. So then I was like, well, what about coverage? It ended up being a very high coverage formula as concealer, and it wore beautifully all day. Like, I was actually shook at how well it held up as concealer. So I wanted to mention this because if you love creams, they have multiple variations of this palette, and I personally would be someone taking this for travel because it just minimizes so many extra products that you would have to take, and it also gives you so many options. Like, you could mix it up every day and just all in one, and it's like very compact, like it's smaller than my hand. So I love this as a face palette. If you're someone who uses face palettes, loves face palettes, I definitely think that this one is worth checking out. Next up, you guys know I could not do this video without mentioning this face palette. It is the Natasha Denona Glam Face Palette in the shade Light. I love this. I wish it had a cream bronzer, then it would be like the only thing I ever needed ever. But I love this because you get your highlighter here and your cream here. And these formulas in here are so underrated. Nobody talks about them. But the blush is a beautiful tone that blends out absolutely seamlessly. This is like a great, like, goes with literally everything tone of blush. The highlighter in here is stunning. Do you see that? It is so wet and glowy on the skin. I love using this as a highlight, as an inner corner highlight, on its brow bone highlight. Obviously I like using it. They all have pans except for this little booger right here. So I think that those base products in there are incredible. I always take this when I travel. Okay, my camera cut me off, so I don't know what that means. You get these eyeshadows, which are just like the most beautiful neutral tones in my opinion. This is quite literally, I love this setting shade because not only is it a setting shade, but it's really great for the transition because it gives like a nice amount of color without being overpowering. And these shades are pretty pigmented too, I will say. Like, I go in with a very light hand, so the value of this is just crazy. It'll last you so long. I've had it for like 3 years now, and look. Also, the shimmers in here I love this shimmer formula. I wish you would do it in more palettes. They are so sparkly. Like, look, this is the deep one. This is the light one. Oh, these are stunning. And the way that they sparkle on the eyes is just drool worthy. Clearly I wear them a lot, but I just wanted to say that they are stunning. This is, I have a lot of Natasha Denona, but this is definitely top 2 for me just because of how versatile it is and how stunning the formulations are in here. So I know you guys have heard me talk about this one before, but that's because it's literally stood the test of time. It is still an absolute favorite and a workhorse in my collection. I've used it so much this year. Okay, now we're gonna get into eyeballs. To prime, I recommend the Ulta Beauty Matte Eye Primer. This is so stinking good. I definitely think it's a dupe or comparable to the Urban Decay Potion Primer. This creates long-lasting shadow and no creasing. It's very easy to work with. It has like a smidge of a tint. So if you're looking for some coverage, if you're going to do something like a very light wash of makeup, you're also going to get coverage with this product. And like, it looks like not a lot, but like I've been using this for literal months now. It comes in a little squeezy tube like this. Not only is this product on the more affordable end, but Ulta Beauty sales all the time on their own products. Like I got this for, I think it was like $7. So yeah, friggin' winner right here. Okay, now we're gonna move into singles. This has been like quite a singles year for me, which is a little bit unprecedented. But the first one I wanted to chat about, which is like a tried and true cult classic, is the Hourglass Scattered Lights. This is a single shadow in the shade Ray. I love this shade, and the formula of this one is beautiful. I know that I have a lot of other shades, and I've tried one other shade, but the formula just was not the same in my opinion. So Ray is the shade I recommend. This is what it looks like swatched out. And look, do you see that sparkle, that metallic glint? This is so stunning. All over the lid, blended out just as a one and done, or as like a topper to a matte look. Absolutely beautiful matte wet look. These are just, it's beautiful. This is the second time I've purchased this product. If that tells you anything, I will never get over how sparkly and ethereal it looks on the eyelids. So this is definitely a must-have if you are a singles lover. The next product is from a TikTok brand, actually. It's called Adriana Nicole Cosmetics. And this is the shade Ethereal. Sorry if you've seen a million ads for it and you're like, God, just stop, you know. I get it. I mean, they bullied me into purchasing it, but I'm glad that I did because wowee. This is another one that is absolutely sickening as a one and done or as a topper. I always get compliments on my makeup when I wear this, and I believe this single shadow is $12. She has like a whole line, and there is another shade I want to try, but I haven't yet. But wow, like I wish you guys could see the sparkles that like I'm seeing with this. But oh God, it is just so wet and sparkly on the eyes. And oh, none of these don't crease. I don't recommend creasing makeup ever. I cannot stand that shit. So just in case you're wondering, no creasing. The other two singles I am so impressed with. I have never really been into single cream shadows because they've always creased on me, always. But my friend, who I really trust her opinions with makeup, recommended them and said that they were budge proof, right? So I'm like, we'll see. So I picked up the Colfi Beauty. These are their Zari Eyes eyeshadow pots. And this is what the packaging looks like. Super cute, a really light purple. I got the shade Bronze Brocade and Sona Sona. I'm going to swatch them for you guys first, and then we're going to talk about the formula. So this is the shade Bronze Brocade. And while it looks like pretty metallic-y, it doesn't give a super metallic finish on the eyes. It does a little bit, but like there are sparkles in here that just like catch the light so well and so beautifully. And I love that bronze tone. I use this as an all over one and done all the time. Beautiful. And then the other shade, which is Sona Sona, this is like one of their newer shades in formulas. And it is marketed as the more sparkly formula, which God, yeah, the camera does no justice to how sparkly these actually are. I'm just like, God, I wish you guys could see, like, or I wish I could capture better. but this one is so sparkly that I will tap it over Bronze Bouquet, or I will tap it over other shadows as well, because it just adds so much glitz and glam. And what I like about these, formula wise, is that they are opaque enough to be a one and done, but they're not so overly pigmented that when you're blending, you get uneven shadow or patchy shadow. They give you a very nice even coating all over the lid, which is rare in my opinion with cream shadows. You have time to work with these. So I will put like a little bit of Bronze Bouquet out here, and I'll start working it in, working it around, and usually one dip, maybe two, is enough to do the whole eye. And I love the way it seamlessly blends and blows out on the eye, but maintains its pigment, shimmer, and shine. And then the thing I love most is that when you get these down, they're not going anywhere. They are so long lasting. It is so impressive. I've had these on for 15 hours without a single crease. I feel like it literally leaves me speechless. Like, I cannot believe how good they are. Like, I literally cannot believe it. So these are something I would highly recommend if you're into singles, and if you're not into singles and want to try something, these are not going to let you down. I just cannot believe how budge proof and easy they are to work with, because that's another thing with a lot of cream shadows. Like, they either dry down so fast you can't work with them, or they blend away because they're so creamy. But these just hit the perfect mark, and I cannot recommend these enough. I know I didn't do a Sephora sale recommendation, but over on IG, I was like, if you pick up one thing, it should be these. Incredible. Okay, next up we have eyeshadow palettes. The first one is actually so cute. And like, this is not a brand that I typically purchase from. It was a total impulse purchase at Walmart. But it is the Revolution X Grinch palette. And this is like so cute, like the furry texture up here. This was like $10, which is crazy, so cheap. You get a mirror, and it also has all this cute like embroidering there. And then this is the color story, which I felt like was actually unique. Not only is it wearable, but it was unique. And I feel like we've just seen so much repetitive stuff that I was really captured by the variety that we have in here. And when I've used it, I'm also so impressed at the quality. Like, I could not believe the amount of pigment this light green packed. I'll actually, I have a look on my camera roll still, I believe, so I'll put the look up here. But I cannot believe how much pigment this green shadow, this light green, picked up. It was so impressive, blended so well. And then the deep shades, like the Loathe Entirely and Max, they also are very pigmented. They build up well and they blend out well. The deep shades did not disappoint. They weren't patchy or finicky. And then what really was shining was the shimmers in here. I just could not believe it. And they do feel like a little bit dry to the touch, but on the eye, it was crazy how sparkly. Like, look at that. They're so sparkly and ethereal. I couldn't believe it. I was like, for 10 doll hairs? 10 doll hairs. And I don't know if it's like I'm assuming it's probably limited edition or something like that. But it was just so good. I was truly blown away. And now I'm like, geez, maybe I should be trying more from this brand, because it is affordable and the quality was absolutely there. Next up, I have two palettes from Makeup by Mario. I decided to include both because the formula is the same, the color stories are just different. So I think this would really just come down to what you think that you would prefer color story wise. But I have the Master Mattes Original, and then I also have the Master Mattes the Neutrals. And I'm wearing the neutral one today on my eyes. I used this shade here in the transition, And then I used this shade here on the outer corner and into the crease. And then I used the black here to blow out the lash line and on the lower lash line. The reason I wanted to mention these is because they are like, they're workhorses. Even though I have so many palettes, I still find myself personally reaching for this one a lot just because this is more of a color story I typically go toward. But reaching for this a lot because not only does it pair really well with all of my singles, but it's great for just an all matte look. I really love the formula in this. I know that it feels like harder pressed or stiffer, but somehow it works really well. It blends out very easily on the eye. I never get any fallout, which is like, I don't think I have any palettes that don't give me any fallout. This is the only one. No fallout, blends well. The tones are just like perfect and so encompassing and, you know, incorporate a wide range. And yeah, I just cannot get over like the ease of blendability. What I usually do when I travel is I will take this and then a couple singles as toppers, and that's it. This is just such a elevated formula that I don't see in a lot of other palettes. So I wanted to just showcase both in case you were wanting to look at the color stories. This, I definitely feel like it looks like it leans cool, but once you get it up with the like original one, you can see how it is more neutral leaning. Except for, I feel like that gray is pretty cool, but the rest is like very neutral leaning. But yeah, I love these. I love this formula. Really great ones if you're wanting to pick up an eyeshadow from Makeup by Mario. I would recommend this formula over the Ethereal Eyes formula. Next up is a palette from What's Up Beauty. This is the Dragon Eyes palette, and I really just wanted to make sure to mention this because, well, not only is this color story beautiful and the packaging beautiful, but I've been very impressed by this formulation. The mattes are buttery smooth, pigmented, blend out really nicely, and the shimmers are just beyond special. They are like wet to the touch, shimmery, multi-chromy, flippy. They're all of like, look, you can even see that shift in the one to like over here. Like you can see that. But these are stunning. If you're someone who is looking for, you know, really elevated shimmers that bring something different to the table, I think that these are a great option. I know this brand, I don't know, I feel like sometimes it gets hyped, but then other times I feel like nobody really talks about it. But maybe that's just the corner of the internet that I'm in personally. But I adore these formulas. They're special. And I feel like, you know, I have a lot of palettes, so I was like really picky with what I picked and what I truly feel like is the best. Like I picked this over however other many Natasha Denona palettes I have, because like I said, this is like a collection of what was the best to me this year, not like just products from this year. So love this one and recommend. Next up, you guys already know this wasn't gonna not make the video. It is the Natasha Denona Biba palette. This, I feel like I keep saying this word, but this is another just workhorse in my collection. Like, look at all of those pans. This is my favorite Natasha Denona palette. You get such a beautiful range of shades. You have your cool tones, you have neutrals, you have peaches, you have warm tones. You get such a vast variety of matte shadows, and it has her original cream to powder formula, which I personally love. I mean, this black shadow is gonna come with me to the grave. It is my favorite black shadow. It just wears so well, doesn't have fallout, blends out so easily. Yeah, I feel like I've talked about this palette for like 3 years, so I know you guys get the picture, but I think that if like, I don't know, and everyone's preferences are so different, but like if I could only keep one Natasha palette, it would definitely be this one. You just get so much range and dimension in the shades and in the formulas. The shimmers aren't super special shimmery shades like some of the ones she's come out with, but they also last long and they don't crease and they are beautiful. So I really love this one. I know this is like a very pricey one. It's like one of her last big palettes left, but this is one that I would 110% purchase again. Next up, this one is a little bit newer to me, but I feel comfortable recommending it even though I've only done a handful of looks with it because it's a formula that I'm very comfortable with. So I wanted to throw it out there. It is the Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge palette. This is the one that I held off on, but then I picked it up here more recently, and it is just as good as the other large palettes Huda formula. I don't think her smaller pan palettes are as good, so I wouldn't recommend those, but her larger pan palettes always have incredible quality. The tones in here are so beautiful. I adore this half of the palette. Like the tones, the way they are this like beautiful purpley mauve are stunning, especially if you have blue eyes. But these shades are pigmented, blendable, buildable, so easy to work with. Like, I love them. And then the shimmer shades in here, like this one, Rebel, so Rebel, this shade right here is so pretty. It's like a foiled shade, and this is gonna do it no justice because in like my lighting, this has purple and green flecks in it. It is so stunning. And then her shimmers just always are. They're very sparkly. Like even the mixed shade right there, look how stunning that is. And then we have the other mixed shade. Oh, that one's pretty. It's a multi-chrome, right? Like, you know, if you guys have been here, then you know that I've loved this formula for a long time. Unfortunately, a lot of my Huda Beauty palettes did expire this year, but I picked up Pretty Grunge and Icy Nude. So if there's any large Huda palette you have been eyeing, I would do it now because she's discontinuing them. So if you want it, now's your chance, basically. But yes, I love this one. I love this color story, so I wanted to be sure to share it. Okay, the last palette that actually really surprised me is the R.E.M. Beauty Wicked palette. This not only has incredible packaging, but I have been so wowed by the formula. It was truly unexpected. I didn't really know what to expect, but I was not expecting it to be as good as it is. The matte shades are definitely a little bit deeper than they appear in the pan, and they blend out easily. Like I don't necessarily think there's anything super like revolutionary about the mattes. They work well. It is the shimmers in here that are just so sparkly, so ethereal. God, I cannot get enough of them. This shade Bewitching is my favorite. I actually wear this all the time just by itself because it has a, look at that. Yeah, and it blends out and you have this beautiful brown shade behind it. I literally just put it on my lids and blend it out, and oh my god. Actually, I'll pop a photo in because I did it recently and I have it still. So I'll pop a photo in of the look just using that shadow, and oh my god, it is so stunning. Well, and I use Normal is Overrated on the inner corner in that one, which is just like super sparkly. And that's how all of these are. They're so sparkly, so ethereal, long lasting, easy to work with. I have just been truly impressed, and especially by the shades because they're not like traditional shimmers. Well, traditional shimmer shades, I guess. Like this one is very special. It has like a lot of different coloration going on. So is She's Phosphorescent, very special. It has a lot of undertones. All the shimmers, they're just so special in tone and in formulation that I have just truly been a little bit bamboozled by how good it was. So this is incredible. I know it was a limited edition launch, It's still available right now though, as I'm filming this, but it's one that is not going to stick around. So if you've been eyeing it, go for it. Okay guys, we are almost there. We're getting down to just like the nitty gritty of like lips and other odds and ends. Something quick and easy is going to be the e.l.f. Instant Brow Lift Pencil. I love this. I've been using it for years now. It is easy to shape, fill in, and it is long lasting. I have the shade Neutral Brown, and it's my perfect shade in my opinion. Also comes with a spoolie on the end, and these retail for $3, so a great drugstore find. The brow gel that I've absolutely loved this year is from Rare Beauty. This has been incredible. I love the way that it holds up the brows, and I'll show you guys the applicator. It is small, so you can really like get in there, and it holds them up super long lasting. You don't get any of that white cast or gunkiness. I have really loved this one. I know it's kind of an expensive one, but that's what I'm loving. For mascara, I almost feel like I can't even recommend one because nothing has come close to my Bite Beauty mascara since that's been gone. But the one that I have loved the most that I've tried this year, which unfortunately I have tried a lot and I cannot find a dupe for the Bite one, but the one I have been loving the most, and I'm wearing today, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but I am trying, is from Il Makiage, which this brand is pushed so hard by Ipsy. I got this in an Ipsy, but this is actually good. It is the Black Ord Lift and Curl Lengthen Mascara, and the wand is very interesting. Okay, I'm gonna show it to you. So we have like the flex and stuff, like the brush on this side, and then the other side is completely flat. But this is a strong brush, so you can really get up in there, but it also has some bend, so you can really get up and finagle your lashes. I find that this lengthens, curls, and gives great volume. The only thing I will say is that if you're going to do multiple coats, which I do 2 coats, you want to let that first coat dry all the way before you go in with the second coat. Otherwise, it's not going to build as well and look as good. So that is what I'll say about this. But out of all the mascaras I've tried this year, this has hands down been the best one. So next up is a liquid eyeliner. It is from Makeup by Mario in the shade Black. I love this felt tip. It gives me enough flexibility to go with like the natural creases in my eyes, but also it's not overly bendy or overly stiff, which I hate. I think it's a perfect balance. It dries down matte and it is super long lasting. My new holy grail, love this liner. In the waterline, one that I have been obsessed with is the Aqua Resist Color Pencil from Makeup Forever. I have it in my waterline, and this muffa is not moving anywhere. This is so long lasting. It would stay for literal days, which I love. I want something that's gonna stay in my waterline because I love a blacked out waterline. It is one like you have to double cleanse to get it off, but I do that anyway, so it doesn't matter. I have the shade 1, which is graphite or like a black, but I love the way this wears in the waterline and then on the tight line as well. And I have even used it on top of the lids, and it works beautifully there as well. So if you want a long-lasting black eyeliner, a cream one, this right here is incredible. Another liner I wanted to talk about is from Danessa Myricks, and it is the, I guess I don't even know the official name, but it's the Chrome Liners from Danessa, and this one is in the shade Lilac Quartz. I love this one. It is really small, which allows for definition. I love putting it on my inner corner or on my brow bone. It is just gorgeous. The reflect that it has, absolutely stunning. Okay, lastly for lip liners, I just have 3 I want to talk about, and I'm going to swatch them out for you in case you're wanting to see any of the shades, just because, I don't know. I always feel like that is helpful. If you guys don't care about swatches, I guess let me know and I won't waste my time. But I have 3 that I absolutely love and would highly recommend. The first one is the Makeup Forever, and this is in the shade Endless Cacao. This is not new, but it is still the best. That is the shade right there, a very beautiful, cool toned lip liner that is super long lasting and easy to work with. The other one is from Lovecraft Beauty, and it is the shade Galactic Glamour, which is right here in the middle. And what I love about this one is the applicator. Can you see how it has a like a triangled tip? I don't know how to make like that easier to focus, but it has like a triangled tip and it really just hugs perfectly to the lip line and makes application so easy. And then the last one is from Beauty For Real in the shade Neutral, which is this right here, which is the most beautiful neutral tone on my lips. It glides on super easy and is long lasting as well. Definitely one that I will repurchase. These ones are staples. Okay, lip products. We will start with the one I have on today. This one is from Smashbox, and it is their Always On liquid lipstick in the shade Bossy, and I love this one. I have been talking for God only knows how long, and look how incredible it still looks. This formula is like, I don't want to say hydrating because but it still has like a bit of tack, but it is matte and it is not going to move. I also love this tone of red because it is a more blue toned red and not an orange toned red. Perfect for the holiday season. If you're wanting to do a red lip, this is my favorite formula for a red lip because it is not going to budge. And it also doesn't get all gross around my lip line and peel up and look all nasty and sink into everything. It just looks absolutely stunning. So I wanted to mention this formulation for that reason. Incredible. Next up, you guys can probably guess, is the Prada Beauty Soft Matte Lipsticks. These are dumb expensive, but they are so good. They are my favorite lipstick formulation in my collection. I have 2 shades. I have the shade B106, which is a darker shade, a really beautiful like brown with like some, it's like a purpley brown. It is stunning. And then I have the shade B108, which is a beige right here. This is the most beautiful, cool toned lippy. I love pairing this with a cool tone liner. It is just stunning. I love this formula because it is hydrating. It looks great. It's blurring. And it just feels so freaking comfortable on the lip. These are also refillable. So if you were to finish it, the embossing on the product is really pretty. I don't know if you can even see with the way the lighting is. But they're just like beautiful. The cap closure is magnetic. Really stunning. So yeah, I love these. These were like the best lipstick formula I tried this year. I'm starting to think I should have made this multiple parts or been even more picky than I already felt like I was being, because at this point, I don't know how long I've been filming, but my back hurts and it feels like I've been filming for a long time. Anyways, the next product is the Kaja Love Blurs. I loved this launch. I have 3 of them. The shades that I have from starting here is the shade Affection. And then in the middle is Romantic Vibe. And then all the way to the outside there is My Heart. I love these. I think that they are unexpectedly comfortable and hydrating, and they actually do what they say. They blur the lip. My lips look so blurred when I wear this product, And I like that it's easy to just do a really light wash of color, or you can build it up and it gets very like juicy, satiny type of situation. They're very like flexible formula, and I love them, especially for like days where I know I'm going to be reapplying and reapplying and reapplying. These do really well with that. And yeah, I think the packaging is like really cute, little hearts and stuff. So yeah, I loved this formula. Next up are some glosses, and the ones that I wanted to mention are the Huda Beauty FauxFilter glosses. I have two shades. I have the shade Clear and I have the shade Bombshell, which I'll swatch out Bombshell for you guys. I did feel like the formulas were a little bit different in terms of this one. The clear one felt a little bit thicker to me than the pigmented one. This is the shade Bombshell. And these I feel like are so underrated. They look so juicy and so plump, and they are so hydrating. These are more hydrating than any lip oil I've used, which is just crazy. That's what blew me away, was how juicy my lips looked and how hydrated they were from this product. So I think if you've been eyeing these, they're definitely worth picking up. Some people said that like they had trouble with it like getting like milky around their like inner part of their mouth, but I personally haven't had that, so that's good for me, I guess. Okay, next is the Lawless Forget the Fillers. These have been an unexpected love this year. My favorite shade actually is the shade Velvet. I have a handful of them, and I will put them up over here on the screen for you guys, and I'll label them. But I really like this because it's called a plumper, but it's very like gentle on the lips, hydrating and shiny. I almost feel like the plump comes from the shine and not the actual plumping properties within the lippy. But I feel like these are very comfortable and make your lips look juicy. I love them. So I just wanted to make sure to mention those. I know a lot of people rave about them, but I only just tried them this year and I really, really liked them. Okay, last product. Here we freaking go. Okay, the last products are called the Half Magic Sparkle Stick Eye Crayons. And I swatched all the shades I have out for you guys. The pink one there is called Twirletta, and then the white one is Champagne Snowflakes. Blue is Cloud Kid. Purple is the Dreamies. And then that pretty taupey there at the end is called Foxbot. So these are incredible. I love them as inner corner, like little accents or lower lash line. I have the blue one on my inner corner today, and these are just so pigmented, vibrant, and sparkly. Like even when I blend them out on the lower, why do I have to blend them out on the lower lash line? I just drag it on the lower lash line and it is so sparkly and so vibrant. So if you really like the idea of like a pastel on the bottom or in the inner corner, but like pastels are kind of like hard to get to pop, these are a great hack for that, in my opinion. They are super long lasting. Like they literally easily last all day. I haven't tried them all over the lid yet, which I think was like their initial intention, but I bought so many because I love them as the inner corner accent. I bought the Foxbot shade for all over the lid, and I'm excited to try that. But I wanted to mention these because they are incredible. One of the best products I've tried all year. I love being able to get that sparkly pastel look on my inner corner and even on my lower lash line. I just think that they are freaking incredible, stunning, beautiful, all the things. And yeah, that is it. Sorry if I started to seem a little bit rushed at the end, but I'm pretty sure this is taking me like 2 hours to film. So I'm really just praying that I can cut it down to a reasonable video. But yeah, like I said, everything will be linked below. So if there's anything you want to pick up, it'll be down there. Shades, all of that kind of stuff. Cannot wait to edit this. But yeah, anyways, I hope that you guys have an incredible holiday season. Let me know if there's anything you're wanting to pick up or even what some of your best of 2024 products were. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.